When it comes to the casting of this movie, I have just one question. Kunle, why? Why? As in, why? 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 Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Rachel here. As always, hit that subscribe button if you haven't, so you never miss a thing. You can also like this video so that it is referred to other viewers as well. It's been a while I've been here and I've missed you guys. Thank you so much to my new subscribers, and thank you to the ones who have been there from day 1 or day 20 or day whatever. I've missed you guys and I'm excited to be back creating content for you guys and on this platform. And I also have a couple of amazing announcements coming up soon, so be sure to look out for that. So from the title of today's video, we're going to be doing a movie review of Swallow by Kunle Afolayan. It is the adaptation of the book Swallow by Seffi Atta, which was published in Nigeria in 2010. I actually did a review on this book on my website, and I'll leave the link in the description box below. This was one book that I actually really enjoyed, and I'm going to tell you guys why subsequently. So I actually enjoyed this book, and just imagine my excitement when I heard that it was going to be adapted into a movie. I love book to TV adaptations. Why? Because it just feels like everything that you've read and in your imagination just comes to life. And that's why I prefer to actually read the book before I watch the book to TV adaptation, because I like the fact that my own imagination can run wild first and then I watch the movie. But if you are team movie before the book, please let me know in the comments. If you've also read Swallow before you watched the movie, let me know in the comments. Now, when I heard that this was going to be adapted into a movie, I was super duper excited. I know that I'm not particularly a Nollywood head. I don't watch a lot of Nollywood movies. My earliest recollection of Nollywood movies were not that favorable, and I sort of carried that through, even if I know that Nollywood has definitely grown from what it was in the early 90s and late 90s and all of that when I first started watching Nollywood movies. So I don't really watch a lot of Nollywood movies, but I was like, okay, let's see what Kunle Afolayan does. Apparently he's not a bad producer or whatever he is, like behind the camera. He's really good. So I was very excited for this one. Now, I think the major question is, was this a hit or was this a miss? But before I answer that question, let's sort of backtrack and find out what like the storyline is supposed to be like. So I'm going to read out the synopsis of the book so that you guys understand, because the movie was largely based upon the book. So I'm going to read out the synopsis of the book. So it is the mid-1980s in Lagos, and the government's war against indiscipline and austerity measures are fully in operation. Tolani Ojo is a secretary working at Federal Community Bank. A succession of unfortunate events leads Tolani's roommate and colleague Rose to consider drug trafficking as an alternative means of making a living. Tolani's subsequent struggle with temptation forces her to reconsider her morality and that of her mother, Arikes, as she embarks on a turbulent journey of self-discovery. Their story, narrated by mother and daughter, is a tribute to Nigerian oral history. I saw quite a number of reviews and comments on the movie on Twitter, Instagram, and on social media, and quite a number of people who felt underwhelmed by the movie didn't actually read the book. So you don't really know what the book is about. You've just seen that Swallow is hyped, everybody wants to watch Swallow, and then you go and watch it and you've not read the book, so you don't really know what it's about. And at first glance, you think that the movie is about drug trafficking, or the perils of drug trafficking, or some lady who went into it, but that's not really what the storyline is actually about. Like the synopsis says, the book was about the exploration of Tolani's morality and her journey to self-discovery, and knowing the extent to which she could actually do bad things or not, because her roommate Rose got out of a job, she was sacked, and Rose now considered doing drug trafficking and even went into it. But the story was not about Rose. The story was not really about drug trafficking. It was about Tolani's morality and her journey to self-discovery of what she could do and what she couldn't do, and just like exploring her life in the midst of all the struggles in the 80s, and trying to survive, and understanding the extent to which she would go to actually survive. And remember that Tolani was actually quite privileged. Her mom was still alive and was an adire maker, and in the book it explored the dynamics between Tolani and her mother, right? So there was that her mother Arike's aspect, and you got to know more about Arike's life in the book. And then Tolani's own as well. But I feel like the movie didn't particularly explore a lot of Arike's life, as it were. It just focused on Tolani and Rose. So now let's come to the movie. This movie, I thought, and we're going to do like the sandwich effect. We're going to do the good, then the bad in the middle, and then the good at the end. So good things first. I think that Kunle Afolayan did a fantastic job in bringing Lagos, especially Lagos Island, to life in the 80s. Like, this guy tried. I don't know what is available to Nollywood these days in terms of making movies, building sets, or bringing the past to life, but I know it's not easy. I know in Nigeria, like, making movies set in the past are definitely not easy. It's not as easy as it is in Hollywood. So I commend him for a job well done. He really, really did well bringing. I think that he was very intentional with the set, with the props, even with the TVs, with playing the matches from the FIFA World Cup, then mentioning a lot of Nigerian footballers. Like, there was the commentary, the live commentary, there were the radios, the cars, every single thing was intentional. Like, you could see that he really, really, really tried. The costumes were also nice too. I felt like the dresses and some of the things that the men wore were somewhat applicable to the 80s. And as somebody who grew up in Lagos, especially Lagos Island in the early 90s, I could just see Lagos come into, like, Lagos came to life in that movie, and I was so impressed. He really tried and did a very, very good job for that. Even with the Nigerian Airways, when Rose had to travel, I think that the intentionality was there. Honestly, I don't know how he did it. I don't know where he got the props from. I don't know where he got all those old cars and all these things from. Like, I was really, really, really impressed. And I love the fact that even sometimes when people be watching matches and there's a TV there, and it's like the TV's from the old time, it wasn't that the TV was blank and whatever. Like, they were really intentional about showing things on the TV. How he even got those old clips That's exactly the vibes that I got from Neola when I was watching this. Like, her expressions, her acting, everything was delayed. Like, it's almost like she'll wait for you to finish your line before she now reacts to what you're saying. She'll now be like, I don't know. Okay. And I'm like, what am I watching? Like, what am I watching here? Like, what is going on? Like, what are those? Like, what was happening? Honestly, that's literally how I felt watching her, and I just could not stand it. And it took away so much from the movie. Like, when I was concentrating so much on how bad the acting was, it took away so much of the movie. Even Chioma Chukwuka that acted was Mama Chidi. Like, the little role that Chioma Chukwuka had, she embodied it. Like, she tried. She actually really tried, because literally that's how Mama Chidi was described in the book. Even Eniola Badmus did an amazing job with the way she carried, as in her character. That was exactly how her character was described in the book. Let's talk about Rose. See, Rose was the star of this movie, and it's not like Rose is the star of the book. We keep on forgetting that Tolani is actually supposed to be the star of the book. Even if she was so young, naive, yeah, whatever, but the star of the book is supposed to be Tolani and her exploration of her morality and her self-discovery and whatever it is. But that was not what I got. This movie, like, Rose totally bodied. I don't even know what her name is in real life. I don't even know what else she has acted, but for this one, to me, she's Rose, and she did such a phenomenal job. Like, she bodied her role. She became the character. Basically, she became Rose. Like I said, I don't know her from anywhere, but she literally became Rose, and all of that I did not get from Tolani. The Frank Donga and all those Tolani and Rose's colleagues, they tried, to be very fair. That was how their characters were described. Like I said, that week I wasn't feeling it, but they really tried. So I didn't really understand what Kunle Afolayan was trying to do. Why would you get a strong supporting cast and your lead character sucks, basically? Why would you do that? Why would you gamble with that? I guess to me, the acting just fell flat, and no matter how strong the supporting characters were, Tolani's whatever just sort of dampened it all out, and it was flat. In all honesty, as it pertains to the climax or expectations of the movie or anything like that, I wasn't really expecting anything, out of the blue. So that's why a lot of people are like, oh, this movie was flat, it didn't have this, it didn't have that. But really, the book didn't really have any huge action, huge climax that you'd be like, oh yeah, this is what it's about. That was not what the book was about. So it wasn't particularly about the drug trafficking industry or going in depth into it. It was about Tolani and Arike's their lives and their moralities, and what they would probably be willing to compromise on or otherwise. That was actually what the book was about. And the name of the book is Swallow, and depicted swallowing drugs does not particularly mean that was like the crux of it. So I didn't really relate when people were saying it was flat, because I didn't go in there expecting any high action, whatever. But man, the acting really dragged down even the things that I appreciated about the movie. And I just felt like, man, like he shouldn't, he should, I don't know who is advising him. And even as it relates to Kunle Afolayan, like, he didn't have to be in his movie. I don't really know what's all these Tyler Perry vibes of trying to be in your movie with another fake wig again, acting like, are you an actor? Sorry, I've not watched anything that he may have acted in. But if you're not an actor, why are you trying to appear in your movie? Like, why? Let's talk about some of the irrelevant scenes that I just felt like could have been cut out. I feel like, yeah, to be fair, there was only so much that Kunle could have done with this movie. That's the truth. Like, I feel like people were expecting so much more in terms of events, in terms of a build-up to a climatic and anticlimactic ending, but there was only so much that he could do with the movie. So I guess he tried to add some of these things to life, like when they went out to parties, and even if he drew out some of these scenes a little bit too long, he tried to just make the movie was just basically showcasing Nigeria in the 80s. Let's even forget about the storyline. It was just showcasing Nigeria in the 80s, and I'm sure that that's what it was. So I'm like, after all of my ranting has been said and done, all in all, I think that this was a very good effort from Kunle. Yeah, I thought it was a very good effort in terms of bringing Nigeria, especially Lagos Island, to life in the 80s. Casting could have been better, costumes could have been better, continuity, cinematography, and all of those things that I don't really know the deep depth of it could have definitely been better. And I feel like, the plot was exactly how the way the book was. So I don't particularly, in terms of climax or anti-climax, I wasn't expecting anything in that aspect. I wasn't expecting anything major to happen. I was just impressed by the bringing of Lagos to life in the 80s. So I think he did a phenomenal job in that aspect, but every other thing sort of fell flat for me. But I wasn't expecting anything different for the plot. I think he executed the plot well, in line with how the book was. I didn't really feel a lot of Arike's presence, that's Tolani's mother, in the movie. I didn't really feel a lot of her presence, but so and so. I mean, all in all, a good effort. What would I score this movie over 10? You know what? I'll probably score it a 6.5 over 10. So anyway, you guys, let me know in the comments, after all this my ranting, let me know in the comments what you thought about all these things I'm saying. What do you think about the wigs? What do you think about the costume? What do you think about the storyline? What did you think about the adaptation of bringing Lagos Island into life, like from the 80s, all of that? Let me know in the comments. Let's have like a proper chat and conversation. Thank you guys so much for watching this review. This is a book that was really close to my heart because I really liked the writing by Seffi Atta. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so excited to be back. I missed you guys so much, and I will continue to bring out more videos as time goes on. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.